Cruz with another interview, and it is PFL star Olivier Aubin-Mercier. Did I pronounce that correctly?
I would say it's 6 out of 10 for the pronunciation, but it's okay.
So is
It's
it
okay because I'm gonna be bad in English too. So it come both ways. So it's
oh
Olivier Aubin-Mercier.
Olivier?
You need the subtle Quebecer accent when you say it.
Okay. Well, I did take four years of French. So first, uh, bonjour, comment ça va?
Oh, really good. Ça va bien, ça va bien. Et toi?
Uh, comme ci, comme ça.
Ah, okay, okay.
Hold on for one
Normally
sec.
when people
Okay, sorry about that. So, how are you feeling? I just for those who didn't understand, I asked how's it going, and I responded I'm doing okay. Uh, so how are you feeling right now?
I'm great. I'm great. I mean, I fought maybe what a month ago. I think I won my fight in PFL,
Hmm.
and I didn't fight for I think 2 years before that because of COVID, because I was in transition from the UFC to PFL. I'm really happy that I came back and I got the win in my last fight.
Yeah, and so you had a great win, and so unfortunately, due to injury, you weren't able to progress into the playoffs. Is there an opportunity for you to still be on a card in the future this season, or are you now kind of looking forward to next season?
Look, there's an event, I think the 13th of August from for PFL, and I'm staying ready right now, just in case they need someone to fight on that card. So I'm staying ready. I didn't really hear anything from them, but I know they need let's say someone get hurt, they need a fight just to replace that. I hope I'm gonna be on that fight. But we're gonna see. I mean, I'm staying ready anyway. It's kind of hard to not know if I'm fighting or not, and seeing all my friends going out during summer. That's the hard part, and especially that here in Quebec, everything was closed for all years, and now summer everything is open, so everybody is just partying. So it's pretty hard to not party right now. But I mean, it's part of the game. I'm happy to do it anyway.
Now, so did the PFL reach out to you and say just to be ready, or are you just doing it for yourself just in case that someone falls out and then you can fill in?
No, they told me to be ready.
Oh, good. That's great. And so, how does that feel as far as getting ready, but then not knowing if you're going to go ahead with a fight?
It's
How's
it's
motivation
not
though?
easy. I won't lie. It's not easy. Like I said, you have to say no to all the glass of wine that people offer you. I think that's the hard part. But like I really like training, so it's I still train anyway. But I would have liked to go maybe at the cottage with my family and everything. But other than that, I'm still happy. I mean, I'm so lucky to fight in PFL. So I'm gonna do my best to be on the next card.
That's good. That's good to know. Now, I understand that your Canadians made it to the Stanley Cup. So, were there a lot of was everything open at that time, or was everyone kind of held back from celebrating and such?
Well, it was kind of funny. I mean, it was all a big failure, I think, from the government, because like in the arena there were allowed, I think, 3,000 people or something like this in the arena. Okay, so there was not a lot of people, but just outside the arena there was probably 10,000 people like looking at the game, like all closed up.
Oh my
So it was
goodness.
kind of like, oh, okay.
So
But
it's the opposite.
I
Everyone's on the
mean,
outside.
yeah, exactly. People were outside, but like really, really close to each other. And for some reason, here in Montreal, when the Canadian win, we go crazy. I don't know if you saw the movie The Purge. It's a little bit like this. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. I didn't go personally, but I heard there was some action downtown.
Oh wow! So now I will ask you something off of MMA. Now I'm from Seattle, so the Kraken are going to expansion draft Wednesday. So should we take Carey Price?
Like, I really don't follow hockey, so
Oh.
I'm really bad. I know who Carey Price is, but I didn't even knew there was a team called Kraken.
There is.
So I guess
I'm glad I'm breaking news to you.
Yeah, but well, if you take Carey Price in Montreal, they're gonna talk about that for the next 2 years. So I'm really gonna know who the Kraken are. So
okay, well, I'll tell you what. If you're ever in Seattle, I'll hook you up with tickets. If there's a PFL event in Seattle, I will hook you up with tickets. I'll reach out.
Yeah, and I hope they take a Price so I can go see Price.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll see. We'll see. I'm new to hockey too, so we'll learn together. So now I wanted one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you is because of your unique promotion that you did in your last fight in this past June against Marcin Hill. You had a QR code for on the front of your shirt. Why don't you tell everybody about how you came up with this idea about for Bitcoin? Tell us a little bit about how you came up with this idea.
Yeah, so my last fight I had a QR code. So people could send me Bitcoin. So the story behind that, it's you know, in the UFC you were not allowed to have sponsors. So the UFC decide who's your sponsor, but in PFL I had the opportunity to have a new sponsor. So we have 2 spots on our shirts and shorts to have sponsors. But with COVID and everything, it was pretty hard to get sponsors because I mean, company have a hard time right now, you know. Mm-hmm. So it was hard for me to find anybody who was willing to maybe to sponsor me. And in PFL, the other thing too, it's there's no performance bonus, no bonus for the performance, unlike the UFC, which they have, but they decide who's getting it. So for maybe the last year, I was reading a lot about Bitcoin, and I was like, oh man, I don't know if anybody did that, but maybe I should put a QR code on my shirts. And if people like my fights, if people let's say bet on my fight and I won, if I did something crazy in my fight and they liked it, if I did a great interview and they liked it, they could tip me. They could take the QR code, scan it, and tip me with some Bitcoin if they are willing. You know, it's and then I was thinking about it, and it was more than that. I mean, in the UFC, a lot of time when someone give a good performance, maybe they won't get the bonus because they're not as high as the other guy on the card. So it's kind of centralized, you know. They who decide who have the bonus. It's kind of it's up to Dana White basically. Right. So I was saying myself, shit, like with the QR code, it's all gonna be centralized. Like people could, if they like you, they're gonna tip you. So everything is gonna be up to the people that look at you, look at your fights. So I really like this idea, and that's why I decided to put my QR code. And like for me, it's just the beginning of it. Actually, I think it's just the beginning of people getting the QR code on their shirt. My goal is to for my next fight is to have a wallet sponsoring the QR code. So now I'm gonna have the QR code on my shirt, and I have a sponsor. So I'm gonna have two ways to have income. You know.
Yeah. So did this take precedence over any existing sponsor like a auto or supplement company? So you decided to have this QR card instead of some traditional sponsors, correct?
Yeah, so I decided I'm gonna do that until the end of my career.
Oh,
So every fight I'm gonna have the QR code. So even though I may have like another sponsor, I want the QR code in front. And actually, like for my next fight, I have some company that are interested to sponsor the QR code. Some Bitcoin companies. So it's growing. You know, the idea is growing, and they really liked it. And me, like I said, my goal is to push other athletes to do the same. You know, I would like my opponent to have the same thing. So if people think he deserves more than me, they should tip him and not me, you know. And that's why my last fight, what I decided to do, it's half of the money I got from the QR code. I will give the next person who have a QR code on their shirt. Let's say there's 3 people who decide to do it. I'm gonna split it, but half of the money I got from the last fight, I'm gonna give it back. And it's gonna be the same thing for this fight. My next fight, if I'm gonna take half of the money, I think I'm gonna take 24% to put it in the dev of Bitcoin, and 25% to the next person to do that are doing the QR code. Personally, my big goal would be that let's say PFL, they find a sponsor to, you know, they find a crypto sponsor, a little bit like UFC, but they won't go on the don't go to the dark side though. PFL, don't do that.
So, how successful was? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe they could put the QR code of every athlete on the TV, you know, so people could decide like who they want to tip, who they don't want to tip, you know. So every fight, if there is something crazy that's happening, for sure, like some people that drink beer and they have like some Bitcoin, why not congratulate someone who got 5 concussion on that fight, you know?
So tell me, how successful was it the first time in June? How did a lot of people tip you?
Yeah, I was happy. I got 2,500.
Oh wow!
So I'm not sure how much it was in Bitcoin. Sorry, some maximalist gonna be pretty mad at me, but it was 2,500 at that time. I think right now it's probably a little less. I think a Bitcoin dip a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was really happy because like I'm aware it's a really early, you know, it's a early idea. I think a lot of more people are gonna get in Bitcoin and in the future, but right now it's really early. So I was really surprised, and I think it's gonna be even bigger the next time I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get the QR code because maybe some company is gonna be behind me and they're gonna try to push the idea, you know.
So are you?
And I think it's gonna be. I think it's going to bring a lot of viewer too to the PFL because some Bitcoiner may just watch the fight because of that, you know.
So, are you concerned about the volatility? I personally would tell you I do have Bitcoin, and I sometimes I get worried watching it every day go up and down, and it's down a little bit now. Are you concerned about the volatility because at one point you're earning, your tips could be really high, and then you turn around and all of a sudden you drop? Is that a concern for you?
It's not a concern for me, but I know that I'm really vocal about Bitcoin. So what am I concerned about? It's if people listen to me talking about Bitcoin and they freaking buy the top and then dip and then they selling. That concern a little bit. You know, I have some friend who told me like they bought at 60, like 60,000, and I was like, yeah, but you were all in. You said, I was like, yeah, but that's not like what I always say to people that ask me like if they should put money in Bitcoin is you should see it as a 4-year circle. You know, 4 or 5-year circle. Don't touch it. And I know they all tell me, oh, it's just money that I don't use and I don't care. Yeah, you don't care about it until Bitcoin dip, I'm telling you, it's pretty hard to hodl. So I had some friends. They told me like, yeah, I put, but don't worry. I don't care about that money. I don't care if I lose it all. And the next thing I know, 2 days later, is like, yeah, I was not able to keep it. I sold everything. It's like, oh man, you like. I think right now people don't really understand what's Bitcoin, and I think that's the reason why it's volatile like this. But I think it's gonna get better and better.
Yeah,
I know there's schools of thought. Some say it's gonna stay like this, and some other gonna say it's gonna be less and less volatile. I think it's gonna be less and less, but it's gonna still stay Bitcoin.
yeah. It sounds like there are, I think Russell Okung in the NFL, Saquon Barkley also is looking at just all taking their payments or paychecks and putting it in, having it sent to them in Bitcoin. And you see this as something that will be the future, correct?
Yeah, but well, I think personally I wouldn't do that. Like I wouldn't do that because it's for me. It's in Canada. It's going to be too complicated.
Yeah.
So I prefer to receive the money from the PFL, pay every debt I have, and then with the thing that left, let's say I have to pay my manager, I have to pay like my manager don't want Bitcoin. I mean, my coaches don't want Bitcoin, so I have to pay them, and then with the money that I have left, I'm gonna put it where I want to be.
Okay.
But so for me, it's just it's just that if they pay me in Bitcoin, it's going to be a little bit more complicated since there's not a company like maybe Strike here in Canada, and maybe there's, but I don't know about them. So it's a little bit complicated right now in Canada. So that's the reason why I prefer to receive it in fiat and then put it in Bitcoin after.
I see. And so, how long have you been following the cryptocurrency blockchain kind of sector? Is that something that you've been passionate about for a while, or did somebody else put you onto this?
I would say I start learning about it maybe in the beginning of the pandemic, beginning of COVID. But I got Bitcoin from 2017. Ferraz, my coach, he pushed me to buy Bitcoin in 2017. At the top, he pushed me like he said you have to buy Bitcoin at 20,000. What happened 1 week later? and I think I was just too lazy. I was like, I'm just gonna like let it go. But for some reason, yeah, he really like pushed me.
Oh my goodness!
But for some reason, I like the idea. At that point, I was seeing Bitcoin like the Uber of taxi. So, but at that point, I was not understanding anything about Bitcoin. I don't say that I understand anything right now, but I understand a little bit more than back then. So I didn't know what it was, but in my mind, like I always follow the technology, and I was like, okay, I think that could be something in the future. So I keep buying, but a little bit, not a lot. And then COVID came in, and now I really start reading about Bitcoin, following that. I think Twitter Bitcoin is great, during bull market and during bear market. I think during bear market it's even better. So that's pretty much it. Like I listened to a podcast too about it. So I would say maybe 1 year and a half. I got really passionate. Actually, I have a funny story.
Sure.
I don't know. Do you know the story a little bit about Bitcoin?
Just a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, so in I think it's 2017 or 216, I'm not sure. There was a civil war in Bitcoin. and like the Bitcoin split. And it's funny because one of the split was Bitcoin Cash.
Okay, yeah.
With Roger Ver. Roger Ver split the Bitcoin. I don't know the term how to say it, but I went to Roger Ver house last year to train jiu-jitsu with him.
Well, where's his house?
Yeah, Roger. It was in Antigua.
Okay.
So he knew Firas and he needed some partner and training partner for BJJ. So I decided he decided to bring some training partner of mine, and I asked like, oh, do you mind if I come? Since in Montreal it was not allowed for us to train, so I went to Roger Ver, train with him, and it was pretty funny because ironically, like I know he's a big believer in Bitcoin Cash, but and he was such a nice guy. I really like Roger. But for some reason, like it interests me more to learn about Bitcoin after that, So I start reading about Bitcoin and everything, and it's I think it's at that point that I really start maybe my I don't know my voyage, my journey in the Bitcoin world. So I really think it's pretty funny. But it was a good time. I really liked Roger, but unfortunately for me, I think Bitcoin is the way.
Yeah. Oh, so how was he as a grappler? Was he
He's good.
He's good, huh? Is he a black belt?
Yeah,
or?
he's good.
Oh wow.
I'm not sure. I think he's a black belt, but I would say he's a black belt. His level is pretty high, so like I had to go.
Yeah.
I was not going easy on him.
Oh wow. Okay.
And he was training every day, twice a day. So he's now he's really good. I was really surprised. He looked like a normal guy, but he's really strong. So he may be the strongest in the crypto.
They should have a tournament. They should have a tournament.
But I think they want to do that actually. I think their goal is to do like a crypto fight or something like this in Dubai. I hope so. I hope they do it. I hope they put me in.
Yeah, you'll be on the card. You'll be on the card.
I should fight Kenny Florian or Askren.
Well, yeah, you and Askren. Oh yeah, Kenny too. Yeah. Yeah, put it on. Yeah. So tell me again now, what is next for you? Assuming that the PFL season comes to a close, are you gonna try to fight again for next season? What are your plans?
Yeah, so if I don't fight in the next event, my goal is to fight in the next season and this time do the tournament. I personally think that the guy who are doing the tournament right now are a little bit lucky that I'm not doing it. So I really think I have a good chance of winning the tournament. So the story behind why I'm not doing the tournament is my first fight. I got injured.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a point for my first fight, and actually they deduct a point if you get injured. And my second fight,
oh, wow.
I thought I won, but by decision. I fought the guy who won against the champion, and I won against him. And so I had 3 points minus 1. I had 2 points. I didn't have enough point to do the tournament. So yeah, I really think I have a good chance to win that.
Yeah. So how do you? So I realize the PFL has their point system and standings in the playoffs. How do you like that as compared to regular just promotional work? Do you feel like the schedule is better for the fighter?
It's different, that's for sure, but it's harder. But I kind of like it. I have to say, I think next year is going to be better. But yeah, it's hard because I fought a month ago, maybe less than a month ago, and I may fight in less than a month. So
short turnaround.
Normally I was like, Yeah, so normally I was just taking it easy, you know, go train a little bit, eat good food and everything. But now I'm not allowed, you know. So it's kind of hard to stay in the spirit of fighting. But other than that, it's great. I mean, if I fight next month, it's great. But after that, I'm gonna have like a big, I think 6 months of vacation. So I'm gonna have some time to keep training, keep improving, but to eat pizza at the same time. So I'm looking forward to it too.
Okay. Well, Olivier, is that correct? Did I pronounce it okay? Olivier.
Perfect. That's a
Oh,
10 out of 10.
well, merci beaucoup. Bon chance l'avenir. Thank you very much. Good luck in the future. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Forgive me for my poor French, but I thought since you understood that perhaps I would test it out on you.
You know what? Forgive me for my poor English. I talk about a complicated subject in Bitcoin and in English, my second language. So I'm really sorry to everybody if you didn't understand a word of what I said.
No, you. It was perfectly fine. It was perfectly fine. I enjoy the education and interest in such a interesting industry. So good luck to you in the future. And once again, thank you very much. Hey, when you're in Seattle, you look me up and I'll get you Kraken tickets to see Carey Price in the gold in the gold tent.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.